On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honor to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency BLAISE COMPAORE, President of the Burkina Faso, and to invite him to address the Assembly. Mr. President.
Monsieur le Président,
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, socio-political crises, armed conflicts, and the worsening of our ecosystems, and HIV, AIDS, religious extremism, terrorism, cross-border crime, and development problems are today vital questions which call upon the conscience of individuals on their responsibility for building the present and the future. I am convinced of the need to enhance our spirit of sharing and solidarity in order to meet the challenges of promoting peace, stability, and security, and providing humanity with all the tools for a better management of its evolution. Mr. President, before continuing, I would like to congratulate you on your election to the presidency of the 68th regular session of the United Nations General Assembly. Like your predecessor, Mr. Vuk Jeremic, I would like to express our recognition for the remarkable way in which he presided the work of the 67th session. Allow me also to repeat to the Secretary-General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, the expression of the recognition of the government of Burkina Faso for his readiness and commitment to support peace and development. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, this session is taking place in an international context that is characterized by ongoing economic difficulties, growing threats to peace and security at the global scale. This is an opportunity for me to express to the people of Kenya the compassion and solidarity of the people of Burkina Faso following the terrorist acts which were recently perpetrated in Nairobi. The West African sub-region continues to be marked by the stigma of multidimensional crises which have taken place over the last 2 decades. This sub-region, and particularly the Sahel and Saharan zone, has become a hideout for drug traffickers and terrorists whose destabilization represents a real threat to the peace and security of our states. I'd like to welcome the gradual improvement of the situation in Mali with the deployment of the United Nations Integrated Mission for Stabilization in Mali, MINUSMA, as well as the holding of presidential elections which supports the re-established constitutional order. I'd also like to take this opportunity to reiterate my thanks to all those players who have helped to resolve the crisis in Mali. To the people and authorities of Mali, I express my warmest congratulations on the success of the recent presidential elections. Mr. President, the implementation of the integrated strategy for the Sahel, which was adopted by the United Nations, will contribute, I'm sure, to enhancing stability in that country and in the entire Sahel-Saharan region. Burkina Faso is determined to play a role alongside the international community to achieve the objectives of that strategy. Mr. President, it is through dialogue that we ensure agreement amongst and between peoples. Therefore, the government of Burkina Faso is supporting the enhancement of social cohesion and broadening the space for freedom and consultations and seeking together solutions to conflicts. And it's in that spirit that my country has for 2 decades been participating in United Nations peacekeeping operations and those of the African Union and ECOWAS, with contingents of about 2,000 men and women who are deployed in various theaters of operation. I pay tribute to the actions of all those who are tirelessly working to establish a world of peace and freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, beyond the resolution of social, political, and military crises in West Africa, Burkina Faso strongly supports the initiative of the international community, which seek to restore lasting stability in the Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic of Congo, in the Great Lakes region, in Somalia, and in Sudan. With regard to Western Sahara, my country supports a political solution acceptable to all parties and reasserts our support to the Moroccan initiative for a status of autonomy for the Saharan region as a credible and realistic alternative in resolving this dispute. Beyond the African continent, the situation which prevails in the Syrian Arab Republic urgently requires an urgent end to hostilities and political solutions to the crises. Therefore, we encourage the implementation of the American-Russian agreement of the 14th of September 2013, which seeks to ensure the control and end of the chemical weapons stockpiles. With regard to the Middle East, we welcome the relaunching of direct Israeli-Palestinian negotiations, and we warmly encourage the various parties to work towards a peaceful solution of the conflict in order to achieve a fair and equitable solution that is based on the recognition of a Palestinian state living in perfect harmony with Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, the climate and dialogue and détente which characterize the relations between the Republic of China, Taiwan, and the People's Republic of China should be encouraged. In this spirit, we should welcome the Republic of China, Taiwan, amongst the United Nations specialized agencies, particularly the International Civil Aviation Organization and the Framework Agreement on Climate Change. We also welcome the major contribution made by Taiwan in achieving the Millennium Development Goals in support of developing countries such as Burkina Faso. Mr. President, peace in Africa requires that development programs be developed that can provide effective responses to the incertitude created by the international economic situation and that establishes trust between peoples and leaders. A Saharan country that is landlocked and without great natural resources is seeking to implement strong policies in the framework of its accelerated growth strategy and sustainable development in order to ensure that there is the emergence of and improvement in the quality of life of our people. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the deadline for achieving the Millennium Development Goals, the current theme of this session, the post-2015 development agenda, setting the scene, raises the issue of the relationship between development, peace, and security. It is therefore an opportunity that we have to guide our reflections on a new view in order to establish global progress on the basis of international solidarity that is strong to ensure sustainable development. And for that reason, it's important that we step up our efforts to resolve environmental questions, referring to the conclusions that emerged from the 2012 conference in Rio de Janeiro. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, peace and stability still appear as distant objectives given the presence of a number of centers of conflict throughout the world. This situation demands that we enhance multilateralism, that we establish in a rigorous way the principles set out in our organization's charter, that we bolster the instruments that promote those ideals, and that we conduct the reform of the United Nations organs, particularly the Security Council. It is my hope that the work of this session of our Assembly will contribute to achieving these noble objectives for a humanity which lives in greater solidarity. Thank you very much.